Hello, welcome to Toffee TV. It is the club call. It is Wednesday, the 23rd of August, just after 5. The headline says, will we get a striker in before Wolves?
That a binary question.
It's the question we're all asking, John. It is the question we're all asking. It's the question that... Oh, okay, just bear with us a sec, Tony. I will introduce you in. I'll come to you, so if you just mute yourself for 1 minute, we'll come back to you. It is the question that everyone will be asking. I'm sure everyone was asking it at Villa Park on Sunday. Evertonians were asking it at 5-4 when the final whistle went on Sunday, and it was another game without a goal.
Everyone's been asking it for 18 months.
Exactly. Wednesday evening, now early evening, but Wednesday evening, and still nothing really out there that Everton have agreed a deal with Southampton or anyone else for that matter. Romelu Lukaku, other names that have been mentioned. It's looking unlikely that they're going to have someone in for Saturday unless something moves very quickly.
Very unlikely, isn't it?
It can change quickly. Obviously, Everton have got a few irons in the fire.
Yeah.
It's whether anything comes off, really.
I mean, I don't see it myself, do you?
Well, I think one of yours, time kills deals. So
does, yeah.
There is people there. There's obviously, like I've just said, there's a Lukaku, but that looks highly unlikely. There is, Shea Adams, whether Everton can
Southampton
do that.
play 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, so they're going to go, no, you're in our match prep
in our
period
prep,
now.
yeah. Leicester got Patson Daka in the Acho, who Everton have been linked with. So there are players there. Gift Orban, I'm sure, is waiting for a phone call. It would be a most
pleasant surprise if we announce somebody before midday on Friday. An even bigger surprise if it's somebody who could then play on Saturday because they were ready to play.
Yeah. Oh, well. John says, greetings from Lanzarote. Hope you're well. Trying to find confidence of a result at the weekend and whether it's worth the walk to town to watch the game after that shambles against Villa.
Defo worked the walk.
You've always got to.
Yeah.
You've always got to be positive. You've always got to hope that we can grab a win. We'll wait and see. Whether
someone rightly accused me of being on the simple premise of doing the same thing over and over again as a sign of madness. Being positive must clearly, around this football club at the moment, be a sign of madness.
Possibly, but.
So we'll have to replace it with cautiously optimistic.
You've got to listen. Again, I always speak about my own mental health. If I start talking myself out of Everton winning a game at home against a team that doesn't score goals either, 3 days before we play the game, what's the point?
And that's where the people who were talking to me were about. I said if you couldn't get at least some degree of optimism, you wouldn't go, would you?
No.
It took me forever, for various reasons, to get to Villa, and it's a bogey place, and they keep beating us, and so on. Yeah. But if I felt if something in my brain clicked and says, we're defo going to lose, it's going to be horrific, Michael Keane's going to start, and he's going to do stupid mistakes, then it would be a sign of madness to go. So, but I will keep going. Yeah.
So maybe you are mad.
So maybe go, my friend. Yeah. Go to your favourite bar or wherever, or even into Goodison Park, and
let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Right, we have got the first person on the line. There is Tony from Chattanooga. Did you say, Ped? So, Tony, are you there? And what is your question?
1-0 to the Americans again for dialing in.
Yeah. Tony, hello. We can hear you. What's your question, mate? Or what are your points? Missed.
One of their players was in the semicircle as the kick was going off, and you might want to see the bald guy who was already pointing to the center circle before the ball even went in the net.
Wow, I never noticed
Anthony
that.
Taylor. I knew someone encroached.
That's interesting.
No, I don't mention his name.
Oh, okay, fair play. Is he the one the name who shall not be mentioned?
No, he is. He is the bald guy.
The bald guy.
Oh, okay.
Baldy locks.
Okay.
Don't mention his name.
Other bald guys are available.
What's that?
I said other bald guys are available as well.
That's all I got to say. Watch the replay. You'll see that one of the Aston Villa guys was in the semicircle thing.
Yeah.
You know,
on the edge of the box.
When the ball was being kicked, which is at least a re-kick, at least.
Well, that's all it can be. Yeah.
But the bald guy was pointing to the spot before the ball even went at the net. And watch the replay, and then I'll let you guys go.
Tony, maybe he just thinks Pickford's not very good at saving penalties. or doesn't save that many. That he's thought, I'm hedging me bets here. I'm saying it's a goal.
Well, he has a crystal ball, apparently.
Well, there you go.
With his bald crystal ball.
It's crystal bald.
Well, Stuart Atwell's very good at it as well, because he blows his whistle before the ball has gone into the net.
He does, yeah. We're not referee's friend. Let's leave it at that.
I mean, the interesting bit about it is that because the Premier League is, for a number of things, haven't they? They've taken a zero tolerance view, approaching the referee and all that sort of stuff. Clearly, encroachment isn't one of the things that having zero tolerance on, because it's something VAR can spot very easily.
Yeah,
it's just press a button, encroachment, take it again.
Yeah, apparently VAR was taking a nap during that.
Maybe it's probably not perceived as a clear and obvious error.
They probably just it's one of those, isn't it? Is he? It becomes an issue if the goalkeeper saves it, and obviously one of them are running in. But the lad just puts it in, doesn't he? That's, I'll be honest with you, Tony, it's the least of my worries at the moment. The ball guy and is predicting the future events.
Here's a query for you then, young Baz.
Go on.
Right? Imagine the same level of encroachment was a defender and Pickford saved it. Do you think the penalty would have been taken again?
Of course it would.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But he didn't. He slotted it, and it just saved us thinking we've got another chance to save this penalty. Yeah, listen.
My child woke up after the game was over, because the game was on at like 10 o'clock in the morning,
right?
From 9 o'clock in the morning in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I said, well, there's the good news and the bad news. I said, the bad news is we lost. The good news is I couldn't get it because it was on USA Network, so I couldn't watch it.
So he saved you some. He saved you. The pain of watching it in live.
So you just sort of knew the score, really. Yeah.
Yeah. They saved you that pain.
The replay was bad enough, okay?
All right. The highlights, as we would call them.
The replay, I'm like, did Everton even shoot at the goal the entire,
Did Everton even turn up? Should have been your question, but there you go.
Michael Keane turned up.
Oh, John, come on. There was a lot of them. It wasn't just that. It wasn't just him, but
doesn't he get credit because even the horrible mistakes proves he was there? Yeah. And some of those players, you would be hard pushed to.
I seen a Villa fan saying he was their best player. I thought that was
harsh.
That might have been a bit harsh, to be fair.
That was harsh.
But there you go.
Three hits on Everton all around him.
Start a Villa left back so he can throw the ball into the middle of the field and just give away a goal.
Tony, can I just say, Tony, your laugh sounds like Marty McFly's dad's laugh. It's amazing.
It's amazing, right? It's like
it just sounds exactly like
so ridiculous.
No, not ridiculous.
Hey,
listen,
you come from Chattanooga. Translate.
Entertaining, I say.
Yes.
In flight translation, that's a good skill. That
right, boys.
Nice one, Tony.
I'd bring that up.
Take care, mate. 1 week you're gonna phone and we can revel in an Everton victory.
Absolutely.
Honest. Okay, cheers. So take care, mate. See you later. Take care, mate. Bye now.
Take care, mate.
Tony, the first caller of the night.
Not the first time he's been first.
He's not happy with the encroachment, which is fine.
The ball guy. Yeah.
You don't really see it, do you? You don't really see them stopping
Clearly,
it.
Tony did. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's with them stopping it and making it, retake for something like that. If a goalie's off his line, they do, but I don't think that bothered for people outside the box, really. If you're going by letter of the law, obviously.
I don't know what the letter of the law is.
Well, everyone's supposed to be
like
10.
You said, if there's an involvement, that's different.
You're supposed to be a certain amount away from the ball at all times, and that's from the spot, isn't it?
I understand it, but I mean the way they interpret it. If there's no involvement, don't take it again for the sake.
I mean, I honestly thought he was going to say the ball guy went sliding on his knees when Douglas Luiz slotted it in the corner and, just pointed very David Brent to the halfway line, which is,
his white shirt would have got green, though.
Mr. Taylor is like. Very poor official. Really
I thought
poor.
you meant Sean then.
Sean? Why? No, I'm talking about the bald guy.
The guy you're not allowed to mention.
Him, yeah. You know, he's already pointing to the halfway line. He could have gone for a knee slide. David Brent. But there you go. What can you say? What can you say?
All, yeah.
He said it all. Tony said it all. Opening the show there. Couple of comments. Let's see. Ross says, knowing we will most likely be starting with Maupay up front on Saturday, it's absolutely criminal. For the first time, I feel like I can't be arsed going the game.
Wow.
We just don't ever seem to have a sense of urgency. There's no urgency at Everton. Certainly not in terms of recruiting. Zero. However, whoever is responsible, whether it's recruitment, the chairman, the owner, there's zero evidence of any kind of trying to get things done urgently. Everton Viking says, I imagine we will get the Adams fee agreed on Friday night. We'll pay 4.5 million up front thanks to the master negotiator, saving ourselves a sweet $500,000. It's okay that we'll lose on Saturday. That isn't a problem. We saved ourselves a few pennies. In a way, I think I'm glad I'm still angry at how pathetic this club is, because I think once I lose the anger, I'll lose interest in this club altogether. Gary Watershouse.
Stay angry.
Mathew Barry says, afternoon, lads, I think we meant to say. I hope you're all well. We can't organise a third kit launch. No wonder we can't get a striker through the door. Blue Bill disaster class continues to embarrass this club. And Cal says, with the news Seamus is out for another 6 to 8 weeks, do we stick with Patterson or push Garner? Right, let me just address this thing over Patterson. I think Tom has put on already today, Tom Football Scout on Twitter, the comparison with Patterson and Coleman, and which Patterson's better than him in everything. It's just stats.
Oh, statistically,
right. James Garner is a central midfield player.
You want to try and get him in the
right,
centre.
so play him in the middle. James Garner, I really like, has done nothing to suggest he even deserves to start a game.
That's true.
At the weekend so far. He ran around a lot on Sunday and tried to get him, but he didn't do anything. He's played in front of Patterson and has offered them no cover whatsoever.
Also true.
Zero cover. Patterson hasn't even been that bad. I've seen people against Fulham blaming Patterson for the goal when it was 100% James Garner's fault. Patterson went to the ball.
His man, absolutely. Yeah.
And again on Sunday, let's John McGinn. Doesn't sack John McGinn.
Well, he had him.
Then gets him and then leaves him again. Yeah. It's a goal. So this thing of like Patterson's awful, let's get Garner there. Me personally, I don't see it that way. I think Garner's let him down in front of him, to be honest. And that isn't even having to go with James Garner, because James Garner is not a right winger. The lad is a centre midfield player.
So the manager has to put players in the right positions, doesn't he?
It's on the manager, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get a lad that, if James Garner's a right winger or a right midfield player and he's there and he doesn't play well, then it's on the manager. And the kid's not going to drop himself. But when he's not that kind of player and you put him out there and he doesn't help his fullback, then it's on you again, isn't it?
Of course it is.
So, it's, Garner, I've said it before, I think James Garner's a good player. I think he's going to be a good player for Everton. Like the way he always shows for the ball, wants the ball. I think he likes to get involved in the game and all that. But this thing that Patterson's awful and he's going to be amazing there. Yeah, just put it there for us. I just don't. I don't get it. No. And when people have put numbers out now about what the numbers actually look like, it's not. It shows that it's not really anything to do with Patterson. It's other people aren't doing their job. If he ever gets injured, then Garner becomes an option at right back because he played for England, but he's a midfield player. Does James Garner actually want to play full back for Everton? I think he'll probably want to play where his position is, which is in the middle. Because he'll play full back, won't do well, and everyone will start tearing a new one. He's not good enough. And let's give people a chance in where they deserve to play.
Well, with the injuries, the manager has an opportunity to try and put some round pegs in round holes, doesn't he?
Well, it is difficult. Obviously, we've got Noah Wobie at the weekends. Was another winger down. Maybe push Ashley Young. I think Michalenko will come in at left back. I think Young will play higher up, and I think it'll be Young on one side and Danjuma on the other, and Maupay through the middle. Although the manager was very complimentary about Lewis Dobbin after the Villa game, so he might go with Dobbin and Danjuma, but it wouldn't surprise me if Ashley Young plays higher up. Until we get Jack Harrison and Dwight McNeil back. And then there'll be another conversation then, won't there? We've got Alex waiting patiently. So, hello, Alex.
Hello, gents. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, mate. What do you want to say?
Yeah, thanks. This is going to be an R-rated conversation.
Ooh.
Okay.
R being recruitment.
Ah, okay. I like that.
Boys,
Alex, that was slick. I like
very
that.
worried about that.
You reeled us in then.
Go on, mate. Go on, mate.
Look, we talked about how bad the recruitment's been at Everton for a long time, and I'm not going to go over that. I think what is important though is to try and separate out a couple of things. One is the performance at the weekend.
Yeah.
And then the players that we need to go and get. You know, you look at. I don't know if we would have had 3 players come in last weekend. Would it have really made an impact on the performance we had? Maybe, but yet we've seen players coming in. Dyche wants to put them through that structure, that program, so to speak, and he's obviously showed loyalty to the players that are there. If you look back at players we bought in transfer windows, I had to go back to Luca Dean in 2018 to think of a player that came in and actually made an impact immediately. You could maybe argue Ben Godfrey in that COVID season and maybe Hammers, but there's no other players we've bought that have come straight into the squad and had a marked impact on us since Luca Dean. So we're all desperate to bring players in, but I actually think the best thing we've done this, you know, I think that lad that lad from Almira that went to Atalanta, I actually praised us for what we did there. I was a good player. We went for him. He went somewhere else, but we didn't get silly and try and overbid on him. I think the Nonto stuff, we walk away from that. It's bad business. And if we and Che Adams is just bad business. And as much as I'd love to have a striker ready for us to play against Wolves, we just don't have any history of having players coming in and making an impact to warrant going out and buying Che Adams. It is walking down the same path we've done for 4 years. And I looked at just to be prepped to this, I looked at players that we extensively recruited. You've talked about them loads. The lad Diaby, Casado, Robinson. We extensively recruited these lads and then didn't get them. You know, there's the lad now at Man United. And yet we do a deadline day signing with Dele Alli, and obviously what's happened with Dele has been terrible. But you hear on TalkSport and other places, people say, "Oh yeah, I heard there was things going on there." You know, why did we miss out on this? Why did we not check this stuff out? It's probably because we had no one left, and we needed to make an impact signing for Frank Lampard, and in we go and we get him. And in the meantime, we're bidding on players, probably silent bidding on players like Patterson and Mikalenko. The lad at Brighton, the left back Brighton, is it Estepanian?
Yeah.
Maybe I got his name wrong.
Estepanian, yeah.
He moved to Brighton the same window that we got Mikalenko, and he went for 14 million euro. It's nuts. Yeah. And I think at this stage, the way I feel about it is we need to be patient with it. And if that means we don't get Che Adams, and if that means we don't get Nonto, we have to face the reality that it might be that this is the season where we just have to be lucky that other teams around us are really as bad or worse than us. But I just don't think that we're going to stay up by getting these players in. I think we need to stick to our guns and say, if it means we have to wait right to the end of the window and we get some really good young players in, and we actually change the system, change the mistakes of the past. And then after the window's finished, then we need to do a proper look down and say, why is it that these players are getting missed? Why did we think Alan was going to stand the pace of the game when Casado was too much of a risk? And in the meantime, game to game, it comes back to how we perform. And I genuinely think that if people are worried about weight, we have to look at Keane and say, look, you know, he made a big mistake. Got himself sent off before against Brentford. Was it last season or season before?
Season before.
He went on loan.
Yeah.
That was a mistake, right? You can call it what you want. You can say someone should have pressed them or should have fouled him earlier, but it was a mistake. Okay, and they made them. But yet we have players that make mistakes, and you know it's not right just to quote Michael Keane, but he's a like-for-like replacement. Let's say it in that position. it's a couple of those mistakes on the weekend. I mean, I know it was a terrible throw from Ashley Young, but the one where he just swung a leg in it, you're like, that's just a mistake. You'd put that down to a rookie error. You'd say to a young player that that's a mistake. I'm sorry, you've got to work on that. You've got to make sure your body's in the right position, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But I just think, with Sean Dyche now, it's like, I know he hasn't got the right squad. I know we're desperate to get in players, but we have to stick to it and not get more of these players that have no sell on, that their makeup doesn't fit the system, and Che Adams doesn't score goals. So don't buy him. I know it sounds a crazy one, but if we're in the market to do that and we need goals, why don't we just go to Leicester and say, can we get Jamie Vardy? Let's just do it. He's got no value. He's got no sell-on value. If we can pay his wages and we don't have to pay a big transfer fee, he'd be the player for a season that gets us to the new stadium. But we can't be giving 27-year-old players who have had a chance in the Prem and not done anything 3-year, 4-year contracts. And that includes players we already have, like Alex Iwobi. Just can't be done. And if it means we go down, as much as I absolutely hate the idea of it, considering our history, and then we have to do it. Painful. And I think my concern is, and this is where my communication from the club is so bad, is maybe we can't afford to go down. Physically, it would literally just burn up if we went down with the loans owed to the stadium, etc.
It would.
And if that's what it is, then fine. Then you have to come out and say, guys, we're in a real stick here. We can't afford to go down. And so players like Che Adams, we know have no resale value for the club, but they're established players that might, towards the end of the season, turn up and score us a goal that stays us up. But the reality is, it's death by 1,000 cuts, isn't it? It might not be this season, but if we keep doing it, it'll be the next season or the season after. And I when I hear comments from other fans, it's like, I don't think anyone wants to be in the Championship, but people don't want to be watching negative football and still getting pumped 4-0. Something's got to give. And I just look at it now and I think, geez, wouldn't it be amazing if we get a young, potentially a little bit unknown, exciting player in and say, there you go, there's 6 games. We don't have a winger right now. Go and just terrorise them. These lads don't even know if you're left or right footed. Just go and terrorise them. But then if you go in and if you go and get another kind of has-been or unproven player, it's just like, why bother? And I think, and we've done it in the past, haven't we? We've had great Championship players like Tim Cahill, who we went and got. It just feels like we missed those opportunities. I never understand why. Like the lad at Nottingham Forest, the right winger,
Brian Johnson.
That should have been done 3 seasons ago. Matomo was bought 4 seasons ago. So I just hope that as a fan base, we recognise that those type of players like Che Adams are just not the future of the club, and just say, no, I'm sorry, that's not the direction we want to go in. Sorry for a rant there.
No.
Sorry,
no rant.
Before you reply, that was R-rated. And it didn't stand for recruitment.
No. Relegation.
Good one, mate. Good one.
I think, listen, Alex, it was very good. I think a lot of what you said made sense. Just a couple of things. Well, 3 things. Normally it's 2 things, John, but it's 3. One,
Inflation.
The club absolutely can't afford to get relegated because it would burn up. So that's why we're probably where we are. 2, I agree. Where do you break the cycle? If you keep going after the same type of player, you keep ending up in exactly the same place because that's where they are. They're there for a reason. But my actual issue is, it's not the fan base who've identified Che Adams. It's Everton. And Everton have put 2 bids in for him. And you're right, there's no sell-on. His record ain't great, but he'd be a lot cheaper than Jamie Vardy, who he scored more goals than last season. Because Jamie Vardy's on huge money at Leicester, and getting him out of there, he's 37. Yeah. He's diminishing returns and all of that. Adams does kind of suit the way Dyche wants to play as a lone striker. But you're right, his goal record doesn't inspire you to think he'll come in and get 15
goals. It's the
goals.
Closest we've had in recent times to a player that's been selected from a profile, isn't he?
Yeah, but there's others. I mean, you're talking about...
there aren't others who may be better value with higher ceilings,
of course,
and all that sort of stuff.
No, but I mean, he follows what they want. He certainly follows.
Just disagreeing a little bit with Alex that he's the wrong kind of player. Yeah. He probably isn't.
In terms of not what we choose, Alex. You're absolutely right. And maybe Maybe.
And certainly not for 3 or 4 years either.
Exactly. Maybe Chimiti's the kind who you were speaking about before. No one really knows him.
Yeah.
We've spent some money on him and all that. And you're right as well, what you said at the very start. If things don't make economical sense, walk away from them.
Spot on.
If Everton's limit was 25 million, then walk away. If they're saying 30, then say, right, we're going. We're done. Yeah. Because there's Johan Bakayoko they can get for 20 million euros, exactly, who's a better player. He might not end up being a better player, we don't know. But he's only 20. Right? Therefore...
That lad, is it Al Bilal? Maybe he got his name wrong.
Al Bilal Toure, yeah. Bilal Toure, yeah.
He was leaked to come to us the season where Richarlison left, and we got Mopé. So and then I read this today, that lad at PSG that we supposedly put a massive bid in for.
Akitike, yeah.
There's now a belief that the board aren't sure. There's discord on the board as to whether they should take him. And I listened to the director of football on TalkSport talking to, I can't remember who it was, at Brighton. And they said, what is it about Tony Bloom? And they said, he's got a vision for the direction of the club. And he gets out of the way and lets the people he hired into the roles do the job. Absolutely. And you're thinking, that maybe this is press noise, whatever. But if it's true, and we've had it, Brands came out and said it, you think, how does it get to the board? And the board go, oh, well, maybe we want this guy or maybe we want that guy. You're like, no, this is the recruitment team. The recruitment team have extensively scouted these boys. This lad, his numbers show that although he doesn't have Premier League experience, he's going to wipe the floor with Mopé, and we can get him for less money and less wages.
Adams.
And now we're a season later, and we've been muscled out. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it was bad. I think it was right that we went for a play like that. It was right the way we approached it. Maybe it should have been, it got leaked a bit too soon, but you can't control those things. But I just think, back to your point, when do you break the cycle? You break it today. You break it this window, and you have to start, and you have to start somewhere. And I know it's dangerous, but you look at some of these players. Like, I don't think Jack Harrison's going to be a bad player, but what happens if he gets a recurrence of this hip injury? We think he's going to be back after the international window. He could be out until Christmas. And then you're like, oh, here we go. We've got another Al Ghazi all over again.
Well, what I would say, though, Alex, is we're talking about Bilal El Toure, or the lad that's gone to Atlanta and he's out for 6 months. His Achilles have gone. So, and we've just paid 30-odd million for him, and it could have been us. So I don't think we can ever, look at Timber at Arsenal. The lad was just jogging backward. No one was near him. Fell over. He's out for a year. His knee's gone. So I don't. We can say, Harrison might be fit. He might not be fit. You're absolutely right. Right. But he may be fine. It can happen to anyone. I agree with your point, by the way, and I do think Jack Harrison actually be very good for Everton. I do, but I think. I agree with your main point. We have got to get out of our own way. The problem we've got is we leave things too late. And I'm not necessarily convinced that the recruitment team have got everything right and it's stopped by the board. I think there's a bit of both. That for some reason, all of them aren't a efficient unit. That's probably my best way of saying it. All together, the owner, the chairman, the recruitment team, it's not working efficiently.
I don't think they do consult and inform loops very well.
No, and that
you can't
probably
just turn up after 5 or 6 weeks and go to the board and say, hello, we'd like to buy this centre half, please. And the board go, hang on a minute, 6 weeks ago you went off to get a centre forward. Why have you come back with a centre half? If that then becomes expressed as discord at board level, isn't that normal challenge? So I think you're right. They need to have a tighter consult and inform loop where they're always continually doing this, almost at this time of the year, the season, daily. Yeah. But unfortunately, with Bill Kenwright and Farhad Moshiri, you're not going to get the commitment for them doing that. Therefore, you have to do best practice, which is what Bloom does, is I will hold my director of football accountable for how good our football is. Yeah. And I'll let him get on with it. And then we, as a football club, will get into the realms of, well, is that something Kevin Thelwell can actually shoulder? I'm not sure.
Well, then if he can't, then we need to replace him.
I'm not sure. But certainly the manager
we won't know until he does it, do we?
And that's, for many a long year, I've talked about, back in the Elston days or even the Baxendale days, we don't know, we probably do, but I mean, factually, we don't know if they would have ever been good chief execs because they were never actually held accountable for the job that the chief exec's supposed to do. If you look, Alex, about discord at board level, where would this discord be? It's not Colin Chong. It's not James, the finance guy. It's not Spellman. So who are the guys who are objecting? Yeah. So it's all broken. And you're right. We talked earlier today, didn't we, about the art of negotiations as much as, it's about closing deals, which we don't do very well. But the flip of that is knowing when to walk away.
Yeah.
And if the stories about Nonto and the price and all that sort of stuff, then we perhaps should have saw that coming and walked away previously. I think the thing about someone like Adams is that's what the recruitment team have produced. And if the numbers stack up, we should buy him. Because that's what the recruitment team, given the brief, have come up with. And unless the manager blackballs it in the, well, I won't play him, then that'll go through, won't it? So let's see.
It's a tricky one. But I think your main point, Alex, is spot on.
I agree as well.
There's got to be a time we stop it and change the cycle. But I also think they can't afford to get relegated. And that's where we are.
Can't afford just to buy a player because you think you need a player and you end up with the wrong one. So no, that's the cycle we want breaking.
Particularly in that striker position, right? But then I wonder what players we bought in the last 10, maybe 20 years where we were buying that ready-made striker. I think we need to be recognising that we are going to have to go and buy a striker that isn't going to be score. That we just couldn't afford to buy a prolific goal scorer.
Absolutely.
You look how much Man United have just paid for that lad. But then you spend money because you're buying a player that is therefore not a proven goal scorer.
Yeah, a good point. Well made, I think.
And I think that's just madness. And I'd sooner as a fan support us going and buying an exciting, slightly material player and say, do you know what? He scored a ton of goals in this league. Let's see if he does it here.
I'm gonna cut you off now because there's 4 waiting. But I absolutely listen. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
And the name is Gift Orban. 30 million euros, 20 years of age, 41 goals in 48 games for Ghent. Premier League is a pull. Everton are a pull. The Premier League and big wages are a pull. Go and get him. Forget Nonto. Go and get you a lad who's used to putting the ball in the net and see where we go from there. Sell him in a year to Spurs or whoever wants to come in with a bigger bid.
Nice one, Alex.
Good Take care, mate. Great call. See you later. Who's first up, Ped?
Bill. Hang on. We should have Bill.
We've got Bill.
Hang on.
We're about to have Bill.
Go ahead. It should be Bill.
Bill.
Hello,
Bill.
Hi, Bill.
What do you want to say, mate?
Hello, lads. I'd like to come on really to make a few points. Some of the things that you're talking about are absolute nonsense. Now, I don't know why you're laughing at.
No, go on.
Because it's not funny. All you're doing is using your channel to push negative narratives against myself, the football club, using your relationship with Sky Sports to push negative narratives. You've really, really betrayed the football club. Really betrayed the club. Now, for some good news for you, this game against Wolves on the weekend, I'll get you a striker. Now, not only will I get you a striker, I'll get you a deal on a hot dog in the concourse. You'll get 20 pence off if you buy 2 pints with it. Now, enough of your negative spins, negative narratives. Stop betraying the club. Stop tarnishing my name. And support the club. Because you're not the greatest Evertonians. You've betrayed this club time and time again. I'm the biggest and best Evertonian walking on planet Earth right now. Let me tell you. That's all I've got to say on the matter.
Thanks, Bill.
Cheers, Bill.
But I want 20 pence off a Mars bar, not a hot dog. But thanks very much. Get us that striker.
Saturday, Bill. Yeah.
Take care, Bill. Keep really supporting the club. See you, Bill. Ta-ra, mate.
Ta-ra, lads.
Well done, Bill.
I can't believe you've let him ring. Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. Who next? That was quality. Who next?
Chris, hang on. It's Chris from Nottingham.
Bill, that was brilliant. He's really waiting there. Well, Chris, how are you, mate? Hello, Chris.
Chris got
Rockstar Chris.
Or was it a technical failure, do you think?
Not coming through.
You plugged it in? Yeah. Have you plugged it in?
Hello, Chris.
Bill got through all right, didn't he?
Yeah. He's on the hotline.
Right, hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Chris.
Good evening.
How can you follow that? Like, hi, it's Kevin Thelwell. I'm going to give you my transfers. No, it's been good. It's been ages since I've done one of these. I've been doing a ridiculous amount of gigs in the past couple of months, and that's been amazing. And then I come off tour, and then I have to start watching Everton play again, and that's very, very depressing. But that's football life. Yeah, what I was going to ask you guys is, I've come on here before loads of times, said how much I want to like back our manager and stuff. Because most of the time I really like the way Sean Dyche conducts himself. Like, I was at the Arsenal game and just watching the way he set up the team, I was like, wow, we could really be onto something with this manager. But as you guys have mentioned, I didn't realize we actually had a worse defensive record under him than we had under Frank Lampard, which to me, it just boggles my mind that we're in that situation. I'm very tired and I'm very sick of this manager merry-go-round that Everton's been on for so long. But for you guys, what is the breaking point with Sean? Because obviously 2 losses at the start of the season, not great. Obviously things can turn around in the Wolves game, and you hope they do. But then if he keeps putting Michael Keane in, that's an issue. That's a massive issue. There's also the other argument. Obviously, we all want to see Jared Branthwaite start. The other 2 defenders behind him, obviously, we've got Mason Holgate and Ben Godfrey, who, let's be honest, they didn't have very good seasons at all last season. So for you guys, where is your breaking point with Sean Dyche? And if it does come to that situation, we have to change managers again, where the hell do we go from there?
John.
Thanks for that.
Well, listen.
I said it.
It's early, isn't it? What
It is, yeah.
Go on.
I mean, what I said at lunchtime was 2 things, because there's always 2 things.
Go on.
He needs to decide whether he's going to die on the hill. That is Michael Keane. So that's the first thing. If he plays Michael Keane, then we can't lose. Can't lose anyway. But he certainly can't. If he sticks with Michael Keane, and indeed Mopé, where he might think he's got no choice, then they need to get a result. I think, regardless of the team he picks, if we lose at home to Wolves, then it's really, really difficult for him. Because it's one of those. I mean, I'm with you, my friend. This merry-go-round does my head in. But actually, the good bit we enjoy is it's not us who has to pull the trigger. And unfortunately, the guy who does pull the trigger is trigger happy. And he lives a long way away, and as a Man United fan, by birth, if you call it that, through first choice, and he doesn't feel it the way we feel it. So maybe that's good in the sense that he can be far less emotional about it. But also he's trigger happy. So I think I said earlier today, and I'll let Baz have a go in a sec, but this manager,
I'm happy to listen to you.
Yeah, is very much in the foothills, or appears to me anyway, into the foothills of one data point, one game sort of thing, of the old-fashioned losing the dressing room type thing, lack of belief there. And if there's lack of belief in the fan base and there's lack of belief in the ownership, then he's history. And I, for one, talk about, and Baz was talking about it before, I'm the sort of person who I'll set off for the game, blue-eyed and bushy-tailed on Saturday, and I won't worry about it until I see the team. And if the team's got Michael Keane playing at centre-back, I will be deflated. And I said it against Fulham, and I didn't bother against Villa because I was trying to get to the ground. But he really needs to walk the talk, and people are quite right that he carries himself quite well, he talks quite well. But you only understand what these people in this game, holistically, I mean, not just at Everton, are really about when it's adversity that they're facing, because they can all talk a good story when things are going well, or indeed pre the first game or and what have you. And of course, what we got out of this manager after the first game was we did everything right, we just didn't score goals. Well, what we got out of the second game was we did everything wrong. And that's got to be on the manager and the players. Nobody else. That's not the owner's fault. That's not the board's fault. That's the manager and the players. And players traipsing out, whose turn is it to say, we know we didn't do well, we've had to talk about it, we need to do better. They're just trite, nonsensical interviews, which the media team should stop them doing, because no one believes it. Just go into your bunker called Finch Farm and come out firing on Saturday. And that's what we need to see, my friend. We need to see a performance. Your question is, where's the line drawn? I don't think my line matters one iota. But it's the international break, isn't it? You've got to reflect in that international break, where are we at? And if we're sitting on 0 points, having lost 4 league games, I don't know if the 4th game is before the break or not.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, then it's hard to see how he survives.
Yeah.
Really is hard. Then the next question, because I just got a hospital pass off Baz, I'll give him one back. So who do you replace him with?
No
if
idea.
you do.
No idea.
Ditto.
Because it depends what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
What are the club trying to do? What are the club?
Yeah.
Listen, the manager is struggling. I don't think if anyone thinks any different, then fine. But the stats tell you themselves. His record's worse than Frank Lampard's. People will tell you Frank Lampard was awful. Well,
this guy's awful.
Well, what's shown dates then at the moment, right? If it was me, I'd be putting so much pressure on the owner and Kevin Thelwell to get me.
I was about to say the director of football, who then in turn has to put pressure on the owner.
So much pressure.
Funds,
So you're not dragging me down. What do you want? You've nearly took the club down for 2 years on the run. Is this the year you want it to go? Because now go and get me the striker by tomorrow. Go and get it done, whatever it takes.
Just do what Baz said. He's told you to buy him.
Job done. Well, exactly. You'd have him in by Saturday.
Yeah. Be decisive.
If Everton lose on Saturday, he'll be in trouble, because this owner, like John said, is trigger happy. He doesn't mind pulling the. If he thinks you're not doing it, he'll go, and it is what it is. But listen, there's bigger things at play here as well. Everton need to be getting the people in they need to be getting in, these players. Yes, in a few weeks we might have Jack Harrison back, we'll have Dwight McNeil back, hopefully Dom will be back, hopefully it won't be too long till Iwobi's available, and you're giving yourself
what that
options.
is, what you're doing right now. That's the mitigation for not sacking him.
No, I'm talking about the club, whoever you get in.
No, I appreciate that.
Looking at.
You can see how that prevaricates and kicks the can down the road.
It shouldn't do, because results ultimately, like you've just said, if Everton get to the international break with 4 defeats,
he'll get sacked.
And we've had 4 games that I deem Everton probably should have got 9 points from, and we've got none.
Absolutely.
Then where's the and his record will then be coming up towards Mike Walker level. Because that's statistically I'm talking about.
No, I understand.
There's obviously
worst
a lot
manager we've ever had.
What do you do then? Do you just go, well, it'll get better? Because that's what we've done with Lampard. Didn't we?
That's why I mention it,
A lot of people were saying in the international break, the World Cup, sack him now. The only thing I think kept them in place then was we'd had a poor start, but we'd also had a 6 or 7 game unbeaten run in that, and then we lost a couple before the break. Had we had like an all right start and been on that losing streak, I think Everton would have cooked well. I don't know. But we're too slow at everything we do, aren't we? We're seeing it again now. We've got a game which is very, very winnable on Saturday. Good chance to get up and running for the season.
Totally. Yeah.
We know we need a centre forward. We know we're trying to get Wilfred Gnonto. That stood still.
I'd argue we even need a defender.
No, we need a centre.
No, you're right.
We need.
But the doom and gloom side of this, the flip of that coin is we beat Wolves at the weekend. He goes and send out, a team that wins at Doncaster. And then we beat Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Then there's an international break. We've got 6 points.
And we've also got some players in.
That's right. So you will have brought players in. Those who are in on the injured list, who are getting ready, get 2 more weeks before we play a game. And all of a sudden, it's a bit more, come on.
John, if Everton end the break in the next round of the Carabao Cup and with 6 points on the board,
we'll be all happy, won't we?
I'll say we've had an all right start, given it's been terrible so far.
Totally agree.
We'll be points up on last season, and you're absolutely right. We'll be going into that break. Hopefully we've got the additions. I think we bring at least 3 more in, by the way, before the window.
I know you're always right, so I'll go with whatever.
Well, however that falls, right? we would all start going, all right, well, we had a terrible start. We've got big wins, 3 wins in a week, that would be, which would be big for us. And we've got some players in. Then we can start to look forward.
Yes.
He's got to play his part in it. People are talking about changing a manager because of some of his decision making.
Always, yeah.
His decision making in 2 areas where players who were third and fourth choice now seemingly a first choice again, which makes no sense. So that's why I think he's brought a bit of pressure on himself.
Yeah.
The recruitment team and the owner and the chairman and everybody else who's part of that,
they need to help.
That recruitment group need to help him as well.
Absolutely,
because sitting on your hands or not getting the people you need in, it makes it difficult for anybody. As for replacing him, that's a different conversation. Let's just see let's just concentrate on getting the people we need in, and let's concentrate on beating Wolves on Saturday, which will be a big game and a tough game, and someone's going to have to stand up and be counted. Tell you what, there's a lot of players who embarrassed themselves on Sunday in terms of their actual performance that have got to put it right this weekend. And the manager needs to make 4 changes at least to that team as well. Make some difficult decisions seemingly for him, not for the fan base, but seemingly for him.
He does, and it's a wake-up call for those players who think they have security of getting games. Yeah, absolutely.
Just last thingy. Last Tom Cannon in.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like, he had a really good pre-season for us as well, from what I've seen so far, and his work rate is exactly what we need in the team. So I think Tom Cannon is getting close to the point where he's starting to at least earn a start.
Listen, he will go on loan if Everton get a striker, but it looks like they're not going to have one in at the weekend. We'll try something different. Putting Mopai back in isn't different, is it? It's just going back to the well.
Somebody wind him up along, say, lad, great chance. You can get the fans on side by your work ethic. You score. Maybe you end one game as a Premier League player rather than heading off to the Championship.
That's what you do, isn't it? And then that winds Mopai up, and then Mopai has to replace Cannon after an hour or 65. He comes on, does what he does best at times, which is wind the opposition up, and you get involved in all of that. Start rattling some cages.
Awful.
That was embarrassing on Sunday.
It was.
So rattle them cages, like Stephen French is saying. Get out and get the 3 points, which is what we need.
Come on, you Blues.
Yeah. Awesome. Brilliant. Cheers. Thank you for that, guys.
Cheers, Chris.
Good man.
Top man. Look after yourself,
guys.
mate.
Take care.
You too, my good man. Have a good day, yeah?
Yeah,
Cheers.
see you later. Ta-ra, mate. Listen, people mentioning Chimiti. Yeah, listen, Yusuf Chimiti might have a strong week, and the manager might surprise us all and throw this young wild card in. While
But
he's
again, for
looking
optics, he has to be minimally on the bench.
He's got to be on the bench, and he was there on Sunday. He was just behind the bench.
That's right.
He didn't quite make it to the bench. So this week, let's see. Dexy says, evening guys, got to say I'm loving all this new programming. Thank you for keeping me entertained during each day. I know a lot of these players, we see links, mostly coming from old news journalists trying to stir the pot because they're now 48 hours behind the real world. I would have loved the young lad from Leeds and on, so watching got me excited. You know the lad is special, but enough is enough. It's too late now, and it'll be Mr. Mopai on Saturday, like it or lump it. Johnny says, I've never been anti-Dyche or pro-Dyche. At this stage, I'm never anti-pro. Never pro or anti any manager or player because I'm numb to it all now. But we have just bought a young 19-year-old striker, and the club seems to have pushed him into the background. They training vids, etc., not on the bench on Sunday. Have they forgotten we signed him? I know he travelled on Sunday, and I know he's young, but maybe put a tiny bit of focus on him.
Show him in training.
Dick L is in the comments. Is Dexy waiting?
Just finishing the dinner by the looks.
All right, so I'll just read Dick L. Dick L's here. Okay, here we go. Dyche has been in charge for 20 games now. 8 of those we failed to score in, and in another 8 games we managed to find 1 single goal. So out of 20 games under Dyche, we have only celebrated more than 1 goal for Everton just 4 times. I'm not saying everything is his fault, and I'm not saying a new manager could do better, but we all applauded Villa for being proactive in sacking Gerrard and getting a really good manager. A year ago, they weren't much better than us, and now they are years away. Is there any argument for us being proactive? If Villa had stuck with Gerrard longer, where would they be today? I believe in giving managers time. I also believe in being able to judge when somebody simply isn't good enough and striving for better. I watched the game on Sunday and I didn't see anything from Patterson to suggest he's good enough at this level. But in his defence, he wasn't any worse than any other Everton player. I'm willing to give this lad time. Hopefully he'll improve. I mean, he'll never be John Joe Kenny. But that mistake has been made and we probably couldn't afford to bring Kenny back now anyway. He does love a bit of John Joe Kenny, Dick. He loves it. He loves it. Let's go to Degsy if he's finished his dinner. Degsy?
You got me?
Yeah, we've got you. What do you want to say, mate? Go on.
Okay, well, it's just, I've had other thoughts, since the message I put on, but I still stand with it. I think we're going to see Mopay. But
the frog's back. Go on, mate.
Is it back?
It's back. Go on.
I'm using an AirPods and everything.
Degsy, Degsy, don't worry. You just sound like Paul McCartney circa 1981 with the frog chorus.
It could be that, my illness and stuff. It could be
I don't think it's that. It's nothing to do with your illness. It just sounds like you're on the bayou. That's all.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, unless your illness is a frog in your throat, which I don't think is a real illness. But go on.
It isn't. No.
Go on, Dex. Go on, mate.
It's not one I've got. I've got lots, but not that one. What it is basically, I've been thinking about Adams. Now, could there be a better time to sign him? Am I right in saying he's got 3 from 3?
Yeah, 3 and 3 so far. Yeah,
he's in form.
He's in form.
Mm.
We're probably playing the style of football that would suit him.
Yeah.
Let's just go get him. Let's just say, do you want to come? You're going to play on Saturday. You guarantee him he's going to start. He'll probably come, won't he? And if we get him in, when do we have to get him in by?
I think it's 12 o'clock on Friday, I think, and he can play Saturday. So there's enough time. There's enough time.
There's enough time. And I think, do you think Southampton would settle for the 15 million?
Well, that's apparently what they want.
Well, 15 million for the guy, yes, okay, he's scoring in the Championship, but he has scored in the Premiership.
Mm?
And he is a sort of Dom lookalike, isn't he? And I don't mean in
terms of the way Dom's obviously
the way he
better,
plays.
but the way he plays, he works hard.
The way he plays, he gets on the edge. He gets on the end of chances and stuff. And I can't say how sad I was the last home game against Fulham when the steward handed me a team sheet that showed no pay up front. Jimmy, give him a go. Why not? Why can't he come on after 60 minutes or 70 minutes? If we're searching for a goal, show him the Premier League. Say, go and show us what you've got, mate.
But the man,
show this crowd,
put it this
he's a
way.
big lad, isn't he? He's a physical lad.
Listen, Paul McCartney, hang on. Listen, right, put it this way. The crowd will be well behind Lewis Dobbin and Yusuf Chimiti, wouldn't he, in the final? The crowd, so the manager will pull the crowd with them, wouldn't he?
Because I think we know what you get with Dobbin. You get 100% effort, don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And obviously Keane's got to be out. If I see Keane anywhere near that first 11, I've played in Holland and whatever. The Dutch football is not as poor a level as people think it is. If PSV Eindhoven want you are a good footballer.
Yeah. Absolutely. Bump to that.
If they want him at that and he's played a full season with him and they want him back.
Yeah, they want him, yeah.
The first 6 games he came from Carlisle, you saw it in him. He's good enough. Those games he played when he came from Carlisle at the very beginning, you thought, my God, we've got a bargain here. We've got a centre half here.
Yeah.
And yes, he's young, but put him alongside Tark will guide him.
That's true.
He will. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You cannot go into that game starting losing 38,000 supporters because Keane is starting.
No. Yeah. I think a lot of fans should have that thought.
Already, this team needs us already, and we're only 3 games in.
Yeah.
And if you kick us in the face on Saturday, and we pick up team sheets, or we see the board in the time zone and it says Keane starting, they've lost us straight away, haven't they? We go into that game miserable as sin.
I'll be honest, if they kick me in the face, they've lost me, Dex. That's a little bit aggressive. Before a game, before the ball's kicked.
Yeah.
No, Dexy, of course, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? You actually, when 38,000 people know he's not good enough, and we know we've got a kid that we would give a chance to. If he makes a mistake, fair enough, he's a kid. Keane is an England international, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Not for a while. But yeah.
Not for a while. But, you don't get picked England for nothing. But he's, I don't like the word, he used the word I want to say, but he's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. He's slow. It's
like your microphone.
He doesn't seem to be able to read the game. If I pick up my phone, put it closer, is that
Dex, don't worry. We're a bit far down now, Dex. Don't worry about. No,
anyway,
it's sound.
That's the point. That's the point I want to make.
Yeah.
We can't go into that ground in Goodison, 38,000 people with Keane's name on that starting and Mopé up front.
I agree.
Let's see what happens.
Because we can make as much noise as we want when Zed Carlos comes on. It doesn't mean a thing that when everybody sits down and it's like a library.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, mate. Listen, Dex,
and let's face it, Wolves can't score goals either.
No.
So are we looking at 0-0?
Quite possibly, yeah.
Possibly, yeah. Possibly. You never know. Yusuf Kermiti might get the winner, and we'll see.
Not give the lad. He's a big lad, I say, he doesn't look his age. Do you know what I mean? He looks an older lad, and he's built.
He's a big lad. I think what you're saying. He's a big lad. Yeah.
Well, you can see him. He won't get knocked about on a football pitch.
Well, hopefully not.
No. Anyway, that's it.
Nice one.
Come on, the Blues.
Listen.
Oh, by the way,
yeah.
the young man who slated you earlier, he's not the top Evertonian.
Oh, big Bill Cameron. No, listen, it's Blue Bill. He just wanted to get on the blower and defend. And what a meant to ask him where it was up to with MSP. But he
are you going to get your 20 pence off?
He didn't get. Well, hopefully, I don't want it off a hot dog. And I don't drink 2 pints at the match, so I'll miss it.
I mean,
but everybody can try.
Those hot dogs and where they've been. You know what I mean?
It was a really, really good call. But I wanted to ask him about MSP, but maybe next time. Right, Dexy, you get back to the Bayou, my mate.
Yeah.
Look after yourself.
Cheers,
Take
guys.
care. Ta-ra, mate.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, mate.
Bum, bum, bum.
Have you got that froggy bleepy thing for enough hours? You'd go mad, wouldn't you?
You would? Oh, yeah, God. Aston Villa apparently winning 1-0 at Hibs. They kicked off after like 4 seconds or something. They scored after 4 seconds, something like that. There you go. Villa will win that whole thing anyway. Yeah. Very, very interesting conversation there.
Very painful.
Dexy. No, he was all right.
Send the techies round, yeah.
Where are we? Jez says, I'm still convinced Kia Dirachiban is in Mashiri's ear. It all smacks of external influences on the process, irrespective of, I'm paraphrasing, the mess up of hierarchical decision making. It's bollocks, and Kia is a not very nice person. Fair play. It is, yeah, listen. We'll see what happens. Like I said, they're all to blame. I don't think we can turn around and say it's this, it's that, or the other. They're all in it together, aren't they? They're all making the mistakes. We'll see what happens. Dick L says the Premier League is the biggest, most exciting and richest league in the world. Everton are one of the biggest, most historic and important clubs in that league. We have a billionaire owner and we have a huge fan base. And next year, we'll have one of the best stadiums in the country. We can get almost any manager we want. Enough of this small club mentality already. Fighting talk from Dick. Oh, you're right. Right. Who have we got? Eddie?
Yeah, being very patient.
Hello, Eddie. Are you there?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, Ed. Where you calling from, mate? Not the Bayou like Degsy, hopefully.
No, I'm in Texas.
Texas. Good one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, mate. What do you want to say?
So 2 things. Have you guys heard the news about the Che Adams, the negotiations between how much they're trying to get from him? And like right now, it's Everton doesn't want to put $5 million down payment right now. And that's like the big holdup.
Well, I've seen the stories. Everton had offered 3.5 or 3.75 down payment. Southampton on 5.
Do you know how true that is, or if like there's?
I'll
is
be.
he gonna be a player by the end of the week, or is it going to take a lot longer than other transfers right now?
You'd like to think, mate, that Everton would make that decision tonight, wouldn't you? And then Che Adams can travel up tomorrow, medical tomorrow afternoon, registered by 12 Friday, plays on Saturday. That can happen. He's fit, he's playing, he's scoring. These things can be agreed in the next 10 minutes, can't they? It's whether Everton turn round and decide that he's worth that, I suppose, or they can afford that.
Okay. And then the second thing is like a 2-parter. So, do you guys like Bakayoko from PSV? Did you guys watch him play yesterday against Rangers?
No, I didn't. I've seen quite a bit of Bakayoko. We covered him on, as you might know, we done him on the a show on Premier earlier in the summer about him. So I do know quite a bit about him. I believe he got an assist for Ibrahima Sangari's goal, didn't he? I know someone said that.
He looked really good. So honestly, I think he's probably a better player than Nato, personally speaking. And would you guys think like trading Branthwaite plus, well, not trading, but like Branthwaite plus like maybe like 5 or 10 mil would be able to get him over? Or would you guys not be willing to like get rid of a potential center back this young?
I mean, John can answer this. Personally, from me, I would rather keep Branthwaite and just pay the 20 million euro for Bakayoko.
If it was a choice between paying that cash and doing the player plus, definitely wouldn't have Branthwaite in a player plus. Absolutely not, no. Because he's probably got the higher ceiling as well. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, what would you do? What would you do, Eddie?
See, well, it depends. Like if he's valued around 20 million, and if we have that money for Nato, depending on how much that down payment would be, I feel like it would be better to do money. But like if they're not willing to sell, or if they're trying to play like harder, I don't know. I don't know if he's still not like super fit yet. But Sean Day, I mean, like we've seen Michael Keane play these last 2 games, and like at least for me, it's discouraging. And like I normally stop at like halftime. These last 2 games, I've just given up. But
hang in there.
Yeah, no, I go play golf instead. Better use of my time right now.
Absolutely.
Things get fixed.
Get an hour in bed this Saturday that you didn't get last Saturday.
I slept through like the first like 15 minutes, and then I saw we were already like.
That was our best 15 minutes. That was the best bit of the game. It was 0-0, and we'd crossed the halfway line twice.
Yeah, and then I think when I was getting my coffee ready, and then I saw that they scored, I was like, yeah, I don't know if it's worth watching now at this point.
You made an early decision that hindsight will tell you was a wise one.
You were correct, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Correct, Amundo. It'll change one day, my mate.
Just don't miss it when it does, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. Especially since next year I'm planning to go to watch a game. So I would hope we would be still in the Premier League next year to watch it.
Yeah, you need to come in here when you're over.
Yeah, absolutely. Get in and see us when you're over. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That would be a lot of fun.
Good one.
Along with my work.
Get it sorted. Get over it, and hopefully you'll be a lucky charm.
Yeah. And if anything helps Everton win, that would be great. And then the last thing I wanted to say was, if do you know like if like I know Damari Gray is going to be sold, and like the rumors are in between like 13 to 18 million. Do we know how much money we're going to get? Like I know he's not like a big name, but like it's Saudi Arabia, so I was hoping 20 plus or something.
Oh, I'd be amazed if it was anywhere near up there. I thought it'd be around 12. So if we got between 13 and 18, if it was say 15 million, I think they'd have done all right out of that.
What we paid for him.
10 times what we pay for him. Yeah.
And if
it'd be lovely if there was 3 Saudi Arabian clubs.
There you go. There's
well, that's it. Yeah, there's the money.
Correct some of these challenges around cash flow as well.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, but we'll see, mate. We'll know. Well, it'll probably be undisclosed fee, but someone will leak what it is around. And yeah, ideally you'd have 3 Saudi clubs after them, and they'd be pushing each other up to 20, 25.
Because they pay double.
A PIF club, yeah, they just want it done, don't they? Yeah. They don't take the PIF, do they?
That's right. They don't.
Yeah.
So
they are getting wiser now, though. Yeah.
Well, yeah. We'll see. We just let's get it done, mate, and that gives us cash to be able to get the next one in. Then doesn't it?
It does.
But you keep on keeping on in Texas, mate. It'll change. Yeah. It'll change.
Yeah, it's actually like terribly hot here.
Well, it will be. It's warm in the studio, but you will probably think you'd need a coat on. I just had friends over from LA last week who, my mate wasn't, but his children, the 19 and 20, and his daughter was like, it's freezing over here. It was like, it's 23 degrees, it's warm.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm back to 36, so now. So.
Yeah, we've had like 20 days in a row with over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I know what that is in
That's
Celsius.
warm.
40, probably.
No, forget Celsius. I'm all day with Fahrenheit. That's fine. Over 100 is ridiculously warm. So fair play.
It's been tough, but yesterday was the first day we weren't in the hundreds, which was nice. So it was like 95. So
95. Oh, nice and cool. You should have gone for a run. What are you complaining for?
It's just the 36 in Houston at the moment.
Yeah, 36 in Houston. Yeah,
it's going to be warmer tomorrow, mate. So enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, enjoy it. Right, Ed, top man.
Cheers, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay, speak soon, mate. Take care.
Bye.
See you, mate. Bye now. Bye.
Make sure to head over to toffeetvefc.com/shop for all our latest designs. You can get them in t-shirts, get them in hoodies. You can even get them in mugs. Don't forget, if you're a Toffee TV Premier member, you get 25% off your orders. So why not go over, join Toffee TV Premier and buy some merch today. Right, I am delighted to say I am joined by Megan Wynn, who is one of the stars of the Everton away kit launch campaign.
Yes.
Saw you there in your salmon pink kit in hanging around Liverpool, living the rockstar life.
Yes.
Do you know what? Just before we go into how that happened, I thought that was a brilliant advert, and the reason why is I remember hanging around in that car park when I was a kid.
Do you?
Yeah, like the little 051 car park. Yeah. Honestly, like that's whoever come up with that concept really must have been around, because kids used to just hang around there. That's and I remember that used to like get the bus into town, get off at Lewis's, and then people hanging around there and stuff. So whoever done that got it spot on. So how did that come about?
So I'd done the fan zone like a few weeks before, and then they just emailed my manager and was like, oh, do you want to do this? And my manager literally just like sent me the most casual text ever. I was like, oh, Everton want you to do the away kit campaign, by the way. I was like, what? Like, really? And he was like, yeah. So yeah, we got it done, and we started shooting at like 5 in the morning, I think, in a car park. I was getting my hair and makeup done in that car park, and it was the most strange thing ever, but it was so cool. And yeah, the kit's boss.
So how long before like the kit came out did you do that advert?
We shot it at the start of June.
Okay.
So not long before.
So you didn't have to hold that secret in.
It was so hard. And I told my dad, and then obviously my dad was like, oh my God, I got to tell. I was like, you can't tell anyone. And then once we got the pictures, I sent them to my dad, and he was like, "Can I post this on Facebook?" And he was like, "No, you're gonna leak it. What are you doing?" But it was so hard, and yeah, I kept seeing everyone in Everton tops, and I was like, I really want to tell them.
Did he let you keep the top?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they sent me one, as a new one, and they gave me like a really cool like limited edition jacket as well.
Oh yeah, because obviously you've got. See, again, this is what's funny, was like watching it and seeing all the things you were wearing, and thinking, I actually did used to wear clothes like that in the 90s, and like you're wearing them now, and it's not ironic at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never wear bright pink parachute pants.
No, I don't think I would have worn them. No,
or especially with like a pink salmon top.
Yeah,
it was a weird combination of clothes, and I thought they were joking when they first told me that was I was wearing dungarees as well. That was, you know, a strange choice, but yeah, it was very, very different and very cool. And
see, when that kit came out, because I remember when that kit came out, the original one in '92, and I remember going into town and like, because there wasn't like all the big kit launches then, and I remember going into town and I think we went to like JJB, Jack Sharp's, people know that, and I remember getting it. I remember going to school the next day and having it underneath my shirt, it
close
was
to the heart,
but like proper thick. They were properly thick football shirts, and it came out like towards the end of. It was either towards the end of the school year or right at the beginning of the school year, so it was warm.
Yeah,
and I just remember having it, and I was like, I must have stunk. And then I'm playing footy, and everyone's like, "What top's that?" And then so I remember that, and then but also they had the jacket, and it was navy, and it had a massive pink, salmon pink Umbro, and but I absolutely adored that coat. Yeah. But I just you look back and go, oh, I wish I'd kept that coat.
Yeah.
Because people would go mad for stuff like that now.
Yeah, I would. I love all the vintage. Yeah. I mean, I love vintage clothes anyway. So my dad's got loads of the vintage kits and stuff from before I was born. So all the 90s stuff and some of the 80s stuff as well. And I'm always like, oh, can I wear it? And he's like, no one can touch them. But yeah, I love them.
See, funny enough, that's when I first saw you on Twitter. I think you're doing the Isle of Wight festival. Yeah. And I think, was it Gary who took the picture of you?
Yeah, so it's actually Gary's top.
What is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got it.
So Gary, obviously, he does loads of photography around the ground. Big Evertonian. Does loads of photography anyway. I know he's big into his you know, doing very much like the match day stuff and that. And he obviously does gigs and that. I remember him taking the picture and seeing you. I was thinking, is he just throwing that top on you know, someone just to make them look cool and just trying to get a bit of attention? But that was actually like, you know, big Evertonian. And the top was the white top with the pinstripes from 1993. Which, if anyone knows me, I absolutely love that shirt. That's like my favourite Everton shirt. So that was like the first time. But yeah, actually a huge Evertonian from Anglesey in Wales, which again, people who watch this will know is very close to my heart. But obviously a big Evertonian as well. Grew up obviously very small Evertonian. Yeah,
I mean, I had no choice really.
Yeah,
my dad and on my dad's side of the family really massive Blues, and I think the first thing I ever wore was an Everton baby grow, and I've been going to games since I was a kid, and every birthday he's bought me, you know, the kit or an away kit or something. I'm like, when I was, you know, like 5, I was like, why do I want this? Like, I wanted $1 or something, but I got a kit instead. But I mean, I look back at it now and I'm grateful. But yeah, it's just mad really that I get to work with them now, and it's like a full circle thing. And I used to play football when I was a kid, and I used to wear like all like the Everton kits and stuff to play football. So yeah, getting to work with them now is brilliant. You know, really cool.
So your dad from Anglesey?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, North Wales used to be seen as an absolute hotbed of like Evertonians. Like, then there's so many connections. Obviously, like Neville Southall, you had Kevin Ratcliffe. Then you had like later on, you had like Gary Speed. It was an absolute hotbed. There was even like a running joke where Liverpool fans would say like, you know, you've got like North Wales and they'd have the rest of the world. But is it still like that, or has it been taken over now by like the Man United and Man City?
Yeah, not really as much as it is. There's a few Evertonians, but like the ones my age are just because like their families are massive Evertonians, but it's mainly like City and United now, and there's a lot of Liverpool fans as well, unfortunately.
No, I know there's still big parts of Wales that have got like North Wales that have got loads of Evertonians, but
there's like a coach that goes up from North Wales still, from Anglesey, so they come up. I played the fan zone the other day, and then they all came in as I was walking on, and like I know most of them.
Yeah.
So it was mad. I was like, I've not seen them in like 2 years, and then they just turn up in Goodison Park. It was mad.
So what's that like playing the fan zone then? Because
yeah,
obviously,
it's fun.
yeah,
It's like it's different to any other gig I play, which
Yeah.
is why I like it, because it's like other like gigs I play, like festivals or like proper gigs and like venues,
Yeah.
and it's like it's a lot less pressure playing in the fan zone because it's like they're not there to see me.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you said that and not me.
But yeah, it's nice because it's like a lot of people have found my music through Everton,
Yeah.
and they get to kind of come like watch me live acoustically, and yeah, it's grown my following a lot, and it's nice to kind of build that connection with like a club and the
Yeah.
fans, I guess, and being a part of it myself. It's cool that my music can be a part of that as well. And
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is nice, isn't it? Because obviously, Everton have got like a rich like history of not just like musicians, but obviously the connections with like whether it be like other sportsmen and like obviously like Meatball Molly or Tony Bellew from that side of things. They do still stay very loyal to people like and look
Yeah.
after them. So it is really nice and even like from that from the advert, even like the song from it. Like I thought that was a brilliant song, and
Yeah.
immediately went looking for it. Like it was from
Spin.
yeah, it's spin band, yeah. Immediately went looking for that, and like I think my missus like downloaded or whatever the kids do these days, And I like, but it's brilliant that it's like the Everton have been really good at doing stuff like that, and
Yeah.
and as you said, no one's there to see you as such, and that gives you the freedom to just
Yeah.
play your songs.
And it's like it's really nice because everyone's in a good mood anyway. Because
Well, that's because you
Yeah.
played before the game.
well, hopefully, but they're excited for the match, and it's always a good atmosphere there, and everyone's always so lovely, and they like the first time I did it, I was a bit scared that like no one would listen or anything like that, but they've always been like listening, and have come up to me afterwards and just been dead nice, and it feels like it's a community when you're there, and it's
that's nice.
I
Anyway.
love it,
That's,
yeah.
that's brilliant. I mean, and the good thing is, I suppose, like when the stadium's done, the fan zone for that's going to hold like 12,000.
I know.
That might feel like a proper. That might feel like a proper gig.
Yeah, that'll feel bigger than my actual headline shows.
No, I mean, that will be something. I mean, because the fan zone, like, it is only small. Everton make use of as much of the areas they can, and obviously it does get really busy. But having something like that would be amazing. Wouldn't
Yeah.
it? That big, and Everton will hope to fill that as well. So that'd be amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think having the new stadium will bring so many new people down as well, and it will just kind of rekindle the excitement, I guess, about it all.
Absolutely.
So
So-
be good.
So you've just, I mean, it's still sort of summer. I mean, just look out the window.
Well, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but have you been doing like a lot of festivals and stuff over the summer?
Yeah, we've been quite busy actually. We've been playing like Truck Festival in Oxford, Cosmic Cape, Golden Touch. There's loads. I just can't think. They all morph into one, to be honest. But they've all been great. And
Yeah.
there's been there was when I did Cosmic Cape, there was loads of Everton fans there, which is mad. Everyone's coming up to me. It was just after the kit campaign came
Yeah.
out, and they were like, "Oh my god, like." I didn't even know who you were till I saw the kit campaign. So we came down to watch, and I was like, "Oh, sick, love that." But yeah, it's been mental, and it's my first festival season playing with a full band. Like before, I've just done it acoustically, so
Oh, brilliant.
it's much more fun.
Your single's just come out as well, hasn't it? That's
Yes.
just come out. So tell us about that.
It's a song actually about moving away from Anglesey
Oh, is
to Manchester. A much bigger city, and kind of trying to navigate like the new feelings
Yeah.
and stuff that comes with a big change and new chapters and all that. But yeah, it's called You Don't Get It, and it's out everywhere. So
So
you should
just
stream
every
it.
stream, yeah, just
Yeah.
stream it. Don't you like good record shops and stuff? Yeah, just stream it.
Yeah, just stream it.
And you've got a gig coming up in Liverpool in November as well.
Yes, I'm playing the Casimir Stock Room in Liverpool, obviously, on November 3rd, and it should be good. And yeah, it's selling quickly, so
Yeah,
if you
so
want to come,
get your
get your
tickets. Any more
tickets.
plans for the fan zone? Or are you too
I
big for
think
that? You've gone
so.
too big for that now.
Oh God, I'm on Toffee TV, so I'm too big for it now. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I think we should be getting some more stuff. So I don't think there's anything properly in the diary yet. but
Yeah,
I'm sure there will be.
yeah. We're gonna definitely. Ned's not here today, which is an absolute shame because honestly, I wanted to get Megan jamming with Ned because that would just be two worlds colliding, as everybody knows. And he is no matter how funny Ned is, he is a brilliant musician. So we're gonna have to make that. Maybe we'll see if we can do like a Christmas duet or something.
Do it.
That'd be amazing. That'll definitely go to number one.
Christmas carols and all that.
Yeah, definitely. So honestly, it's brilliant to have you in here. The campaign, I absolutely love the campaign. And where can people find you on, like, say, Twitter?
It's my Twitter, Instagram, and all that. It's just Megan Wynn. So WYN. Yeah, very Welsh.
Yeah, very, very, very well. So thank you for coming in, and please come and see us again soon.
Yes, I definitely will. Thanks for having me.
Make sure to head over to toffeetvefc.com/shop for all our latest designs. You can get them in t-shirts, get them in hoodies. You can even get them in mugs. Don't forget, if you're a Toffee TV Premier member, you get 25% off your orders. So why not go over, join Toffee TV Premier and buy some merch today.
Hello, welcome back. It was Ped speaking to Megan Wynn.
It's good, that, wasn't it?
Of course it was good. Good chat. I just wish he'd give me a bit of like a heads up he was going to do it, because I had voices talking in my ear. I'm like, what's going on? It's all good.
Be wetting yourself now, but you hadn't
well, just that about a little stretch of the legs. Ollie Watkins has got 2 for Villa. They're 2 up. All of that. Gary Ward is expecting a high temperature of 101 in Memphis today.
Another Tennessee boy.
Yeah, very warm. He might be walking in Memphis, although he might not be walking in Memphis because it's very hot. He might be in his basement going, hello. You just never know, which is what he did. That was early days.
Early days.
In fact, it was the very first ever phone, when Premier members could phone.
All we got was Gary Ward in his basement, like he was being held hostage.
He was. Well,
good times.
He was going, Gary, can you hear us? And he was going, hello,
help.
That's what we thought. People were worried. Royal Blue says Anglesey is amazing. I can't wait to go back. Anglesey is amazing. If you get it on a lovely sunny day, Triada Bay, beautiful. Or Newborough Forest, brilliant. Lovely place. Lovely part of the world there. Just seen someone saying get Evan Ferguson on loan. It's not happening. He's Brighton's star boy. Only he's a real star boy, isn't he?
Flash in the pan.
Stop it, John. Stop it right now. Quality.
No, he is.
Powerful, good movements, calm.
Young.
Yeah. 18 years of age. Very
young.
Very good. It's now 3-0 to Aston Villa. They're putting Hibs to the sword there.
Top league, the SPL.
They've got Villa have got goals in them. That's the thing. Everywhere else you could go, well, are they great in that area or there? And they give you chances at the other end.
Pace and movement.
The movement. Yeah. Emery's a great coach, and they've got goals.
And he likes
Peter,
that.
We know there's 5 games. That's 4 league games and the Carabao Cup game. That's what we were saying before.
Yeah.
We're saying if you've played 4, lost 4 in the Premier League, that ain't great, is it? Wormy says, a Villa playing us again.
Guess.
Well, they might end up with 6, mightn't they, if they carry on the way they are.
Have they got it the weekend?
The Villa.
I shall have a look.
Yeah, you have a look, John. You check that out. If anyone on Premier wants to call in, we've got about 5 minutes left of the show. So get on the blower right now. Gary is staying in with the air conditioner today. He won't be walking in Memphis.
Burnley away.
That was just Burnley away. Interesting.
Then Liverpool away.
Have they 2 tough games? But tell you what, get 4 points there.
So they lose both of those. We win our 2. We'd be above them.
If they lose both of those and we win and draw, our next 2 will be above them.
You reckon? Goal difference.
But they only got 3 points. They got beat 5-1 day 1, didn't they?
Yeah, so of course they did. Newcastle tuned them. Yeah.
Tuned them? There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
9th place for half maximum points is 9th. Yeah.
Equal goal difference. Score 5 conceded 5.
This kind of season, isn't it? You're not many points behind.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, I did say the other day that
we're only 4 points off Champions League.
Would we have took a point behind Chelsea at this stage?
Well, we're only 4 points behind Champions League.
See. So, what's all the negativity for? Go Everton, just
Well,
please.
Bill told us that.
Go on. Bill said.
Sus.
Well, it was Pedak. If you listen again, he's a
It was Ped he was having a go at.
Really negative Ped.
Yeah. That's true.
They are big ifs, the Blues, to be fair. They are big ifs. We do need these players in, don't we, John?
We do.
Someone asked before, said, where was it? It was something like, why do you think we're going in with... Oh, yeah. Anthony Young says, John, I'm going to ask you, why do you think we keep coming in with a lower offer and not the full asking price for these players? If we know Southampton won 15 million, say, and apparently it might be the upfront payment, which is what a couple of deals have stalled on this season so far. What I want to know, John,
I've got a house for sale. Will you pay me what I asked for it?
No, I get that. I get the negotiation. But if I'm desperate, if you're saying, well, there's a storm coming and you've got to sleep in the park.
Because part of the answer to the question, and we talked about it very briefly, both online and offline earlier today, is the closing of a deal is the culmination of everything you've done prior to it. Sounds a bit obvious, doesn't it? Right? Yeah. And part of that is the relationship and the rapport that you build with the people if you're selling, who you're selling to, and if you're the buyer, who you're buying from. And if you have the right relationship, in this case with Southampton, they say, you know what, lad, 15 mil, or we're not interested. And if you want him, you offer 15 mil. Yeah. But if you know they have a propensity to bang 10 or 20% on, because like everyone else, they want the best price they can get, or you've got a backdoor view, because you've got some intelligence from either an intermediary or whatever that says, you know what, deep down, if you get to 12, you're in. Yeah. Then why would you start at 15? You wouldn't, would you? The real thing is, in any negotiation, is you don't offer 12, then when you get told no, go to 13, and then when you get told no, go to 14, and then when you get told no, you go, ooh, oh, all right, then 15, because you've paid it now. Yeah. Your job is to know. And when I was doing this for a living, the only question I get from my group chief exec is, what's the winning price? Yeah. Right? And we can have lots of debate about whether people have budgets and whether they're allowed to go off and do things and stuff like that. But these are significant deals for football clubs, capital investment, right? But what I would typically get told by my bosses would be, because I was selling, do not get less than 500 million for this. Now, if I come back with I got it for 540, I'm a superstar. I'd have to go back and say, for example, they've said they won't take less than 490. Yeah. It's 490, right?
Take it or leave it.
So we have to take it or leave it. My job is, I've found out what the right answer is. It's 490, and then the board would decide. Yeah. So the thing is how much leeway do the people trying to do the deal have? And I always had a lot of leeway, but that number was not movable. If I got told not less than 500, don't go near the board with anything other than a justification for why it is. Like, if we want the deal, it's got to be done at 490. They'd still say to me, go tell them 495. But I'd be told, if they told me to sling my hook, I could do it at 490. Yeah? So you've got to do a bit of horse trading, a bit of negotiating and stuff. If we've got a big spreadsheet and we've made an assumption about how much this player is going to be, and clearly if we end up paying more, it affects the other deals. But that's all part of your plan to dive stuff. What if we have to overpay on that one? What if we get that one for less than we thought, and so on? And being able to do that dynamically and trust your negotiators to close out deals is what it's all about. If you have to go back to the ranch for everything, and I've lost count of the number of times I've sat across the table from someone I'm negotiating and said, mate, I can do this deal right now. Can you? Yeah. And if he can't, I know instantly, I say it, that he can't. Well, he can't no point just carrying on. And I suspect, Evan, a lot of the time we don't trust the negotiator, whoever it is, just to do it. They keep having to go back to the ranch. And that's where your time kills deals stuff starts kicking in. Worrying, isn't it? Yeah.
We asked yesterday about Wilfred Nonso. It's truly off which one of these targets, all players who've been linked with Everton. Would you take 2,800 odd people voted in it, which is a good sample size? 41% wanted Johan Bakayoko of PSV. 29% chose Callum Hudson-Odoi. 23% Kamaldeen Suleiman of Southampton. and 7% went for Mama Balde of Troyes.
Where did you vote?
So there you go. I'd have Bakayoko at 20 million euros, to be honest. He's a gamble, of course he is, because he's coming from a different country into this league, but he's quick and he's got an eye for goal and things like that, and he's a good age.
And that's where things like age, price, and attributes mitigate the risk. Yeah? Because particularly when one of the attributes is pace, that's always got a buyer, hasn't it?
See, Sulemana becomes an easier deal because apparently they're open to a loan. So therefore, if Nonso's 30 million, or you can get this fella on loan and then see where you are next season, that becomes an easier deal for Everton to do. But I've still got a terrifying thing that we get Dan James on loan on deadline day, and that's our right winger.
It's interesting when and shut me up if someone's asking questions.
No, we're on for the last couple of minutes and we're done.
In general terms, I mean, people talk about upfronts and how perhaps hard we're negotiating for minimal upfronts and so on. General premise for me, because it's all about cash flow. Yeah, keep my money as long as I can, and anyone who's giving me money, get it off them as quickly as I can. So your nirvana is sort of you're really low with your down payments, if you want to call them that, for inbound players, and everyone who's buying from you is giving you the money up front. And that creates cash flow benefits.
Do you think there's a case, I don't know whether this is real, but do you think there's anything in Everton kind of looking at it and going, well, we won't be moved by the fact that there's a game on Saturday. There might be a bit of desperation to get a striker in. We've got till 11 o'clock on the 1st of September. So therefore, we'll play hardball for another 9 days to get the best value we can get? Or do you think in this situation, certainly just on the striker, if the manager's saying, we need him for Saturday, that Everton should move it and go, if they can. I don't know what the cash flow is, and Southampton might be wanting 10 up front and Everton haven't got it. I don't know. But just, do you think there's anything in that, or do you think they will just stick to the plan? So if you were doing the deal, would you be going, well, my deadline, in all honesty, is 11 o'clock on the 1st. It isn't to get this lad in for you on Saturday.
Fair enough. If I was doing the deal,
perhaps
it'd be better to say, if I was because I've done this as job as well, I'm the sales director and you're the person who's doing the deal. Then I would motivate you that clearly there's a career limiting situation here. By fundamentally, I make that joke about when I did stuff. I had a hell of a lot of money. I got the sack, one or the other. I never got the sack, so I must have earned a lot of money, right?
Okay.
So I would be saying to you, the absolute objective number one, which is career limiting, like existential for your employment here, is getting this type of player in for this manager before that window closes. So in that sense, your absolute end date is when the window closes. I then motivate you to get it done sooner. Right? The sooner you do it, if you're bonused on it, the better your bonus used to be. And I, as a sales guy, I had that. If I do as I used to do, a £500 million deal on July the 1st, and it's the turnover of what I've done is 100 million a year, then my company's going to make 50 million that year, isn't it? If I do it in May, they're going to earn 75 million. So I was motivated to do it as quickly as possible. But my overarching target might be do orders of this amount in this financial year. That means I can do it at 23.59 on the 31st of December, and I keep my job. But I earn a lot more money the earlier in the year I do it. So no, I don't think they should be relaxing in that sense. But of course, there's moving parts. As you just rightly said, the selling club might want to do it in the last 10 minutes. But that means you can negotiate the deal, get agreement on it, knowing it's not going to execute until the last day of the window. That's,
let's see.
So,
right, I've got the last couple, because we're going, me boys in the comments saying, finish now, because I'm meeting them somewhere, so I've got to go. Gary says,
be late now.
I actually think the recruitment team have tried, but the money isn't there. Should be looking. I'm not convinced, mate, because the names I'm being given aren't what proper recruitment, like Brighton wouldn't be looking at the same kind of players Everton now. But you might be right. I think they're all to blame. I wouldn't just blame one or the other. But anyway, let's see what happens. There's still 9 days left. Everton could be sorting something. Kevin Thelwell might get something sorted in the next 4-6 hours, and we can move on a little bit. But one thing's for sure, we need at least 3 in by 11 o'clock next Friday. Big thanks to John. Thanks to everybody who phoned in. Hit the like button and subscribe on your way out. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back at 1 o'clock tomorrow. See you later.
Cheers, guys.